So, folks, she's my favorite. I do not even pretend. I don't even try to pretend. She's my favorite. And she's been on before. And I've now known her nearly a decade, not a full decade, but I mean, it's been a while. I've known you for a while.
Oh,
And she plays one of my favorites, of course, Rosemary Coulter, Pascale Hutton. Hi, Pascale.
hi.
So good to see you. So, Pascale, 12 seasons of a TV show. You are an actor. We know how rare, like really rare this is. How does that, and we're going to a 13th, say that 5 times fast, season. How does that feel as just as an actor, purely having a job? How's that feel?
It's, I mean, at this point, I think I just feel really lucky. I never imagined when I started in season one, I never imagined that this is where this journey was going to lead to. I thought I mean I was happy to go on for the first season and I kind of thought that was it. Thought I was just going to do 2 episodes. And then we went for season 2 and I kind of was like, "Oh, that's great." And I thought it would probably be done after season 2, not because of anything to do with the show. It's just that's kind of the name of the game with shows. And so I thought that that would be it. And then season 3, I think it wasn't until I think season 4 when I went, hang on, I think we might be onto something here. And it was at season 4 that Cavan and I started our never-ending game, never-ending source of amusement. How many seasons do you think we'll go for? And at the time, I always said 7 because 7 was always a number in my head about TV series because when you join a TV series, when you test for a pilot or you book a pilot, they make you sign for 10 seasons, or sorry, 7 seasons. So that 7 was always in my head. And so I was like, I just would love the experience of actually making it to that 7. I've signed quite a number of these contracts for 7 seasons and I've never made it. I'd love to get to 7. And then 7 rolled around and I was like, I don't think we're anywhere close to being done. So, I mean, now like going into season 13, I just am like, this is amazing. And I don't take even 1 second of it for granted. I am so grateful and appreciative that we get to keep on doing this.
I know you are too. I mean, I'm saying again, as actors, and nowadays getting jobs is really tough. To have a show that just keeps
I
lasting and
know.
lasting, and I'm very happy. And like I said, I've been doing this after show since the very beginning. So I'm kind of like, I'm lasting too, because you guys are going.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. There's this like trickle down effect of like everybody is succeeding.
Exactly. And that's why I love that. Well, speaking of that, I mean, we've told this before on the show, but the Rosemary storyline arc has really changed from season one. I mean, the way you came on was just hilarious. But one question I do want to ask you, to see if you can remember this, but we had a brief character on the show in season 12, Eva.
Yes.
And there was this kind of tension between Rosemary and Eva. And I kept saying, after the arc kind of ended, Eva was a piece of Rosemary and a piece of Elizabeth. I feel like
Yeah.
reminding. How did you feel? I'm so how did you feel about that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't know when that story, so it's Ava
Ava,
Riella.
sorry, Ava. Sorry, thank you,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Ava.
So when her character was first introduced, like the first few episodes, she was really um, kind of mimicking, emulating Elizabeth, and that
Yes.
was more of the focus. And nobody had told me that it was heading into the zone of that she was going to then kind of be emulating Rosemary. And so when that started happening, I just was like, let's just have some fun with this. I don't get to do it that often. And we were kind of back in that world that I think is Rosemary's happy place, which is the theater and performing, and that's where she thrives. And to have somebody kind of treading into that, I was like, you know what? Let's just play with this that Rosemary is really not that gracious. And I remember Ben Rosenbaum came up to me and he's like, Pascal, so many actors would shy away from playing that because they would worry about being likable. And he goes, you just went so like you dove right into it. And he goes, and the best part is the payoff is so much greater than when you things turn around and Rosemary does end up rising to the occasion and does end up, extending the olive branch to Ava and welcoming her into the play. And so I think it's kind of how I've always operated on. You kind of gotta go on the journey. Like you can't worry about being likable. Obviously, look at how Rosemary entered When Calls the Heart. Like
Right, right.
you can't really worry about whether you're likable or not likable to the audience. You kind of need to just go on the journey and hope that the audience comes along with you. And so that's what I really liked about that storyline with Ava is it kind of gave Rosemary an opportunity to kind of nosedive for a bit and then come out the other side. And that's growth, right? And honestly, after 12 seasons, if people don't like Rosemary, they're never gonna like her. Like after I put in my time, like
You did. I know you did. Well, that's the whole thing. 12 seasons. This is the fun part of storytelling. You can reach those different things because now Rosemary has a past on the show as
yes.
well as pre-show. But now we have a whole like 11 seasons of Rosemary before this girl came to town that you can
Uh-huh.
draw on.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And that kind of, I mean, to go back to what we were talking about at the beginning about here we are, season 13, what does that feel like? Once we got to season 7, I kind of was like, oh, let's keep going because I I don't know that I'll ever get this opportunity again in my career of being able to play a character for so long and and seeing what that growth and evolution is and seeing where you go and you're not just growing like obviously you and me and everybody in our regular life is growing and evolving hopefully like that's the ideal but it's really neat to like at the same time be growing and evolving as a character on a show and I've enjoyed the show continuing for that reason to go oh where is Rosemary headed and thankfully our writers have never wanted to pigeonhole Rosemary as like one note and doing and servicing one style of storyline on When Calls the Heart for 12 seasons. They've really like she's really grown and changed and evolved and that makes it not boring.
Yeah, I think with the character of Rosemary though, because you came on so we'll just say so hard, came on, um, that actually there's many layers to her. So I
Yeah.
think the writers can really take you anywhere on several levels compared to some other characters who are very much they're the good girl, they're a super good girl,
Yes.
or a bad
Yes.
boy, or,
Yeah. And I think that's what I've been drawn to. I've never wanted to play the same thing. And so I think and we've talked to the writers a lot about this is that particularly Kevin and I together is like give us the opportunity to do something different and we'll deliver. Like I promise you you won't be disappointed. We'll deliver. And so that's when you've seen like deeper, more nuanced storylines emerge for the two of them. Like, yes, Rosemary on her own, but like the two of them as a couple, because people really love that dynamic of the banter and the funny and the back and forth between them. And don't get me wrong, we love that too. Like we love playing that. But I think Kevin and I were always on the same page of like, if we want longevity with this couple, we've got to have moments where we dig a bit deeper. And so you get the storyline of like infertility, or you get the storyline of Lee like kind of not knowing what he's doing in his career and how does Rosemary support him and like, you get different, deeper storylines.
I was telling Brian when I had him on the show, I go, Lee was bitchy this season. I was like, Lee was like, he was shady. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. When it came to him and the governor, he was like, I mean, Lee was upset. I mean, the character of Lee was really hurt by that friendship and was really hurt
I
by
think
what's going on.
I think Lee's character, more than any other character on the show, has always been quite a straight shooter. He's super honest, he's quite a straight shooter. And so to have one of his best friends to not be that way, I think it did. It really hurt his character and it did make him angry and it did make him a bit spiteful even. And so I think it was just because that being faced with that kind of I won't say that Lucas was dishonest. I think Lucas just was trying to navigate multiple things behind the scenes as well as with Lee, and Lee saw that as kind of a betrayal.
It was just to say your thing about a different side of Lee. We saw that.
Yes,
Like, it was
yes,
like that was kind of interesting. I mean, because it lasted several episodes. Like it did just
yes,
wrap up.
yes. I know. They
Oh,
loved it. Those
all
two, Kevin
right.
and Chris, they loved it. They were like, "Ooh, this is juicy."
And also, what you guys just saw, but the whole part about separating for work. I never
Uh-huh.
thought about that back in the day. I never even thought about that back. It's like because one concert always does timely stuff, but how you both are very much like, I don't want you working in Union City and I'm over here. Like we got a
Uh-huh.
child, and that was interesting too.
And they did not have FaceTime.
No,
When
no,
you
they
were gone, you were really gone.
that's very true. Yes, I love that. But the other storyline I'm telling you was the revelation that we didn't see coming that worked so well. You and Bill Avery.
I
Wow.
know.
You and
I
Jack have great sleuthing friendship chemistry. I love that. So I want to talk about that. How do you feel about that?
well, okay, I have told this story before, but it's been a minute since we've talked about it. So our pairing started in season 11. And prior to season 11, Erin is an executive producer on the show, and so she's more involved in the like pre-production before we get going. She's in concept meetings and stuff. And she phones me. I mean, her and I talk all the time. So we were chatting and she goes, "So I just want to like feel things out because this hasn't happened on the show before. Like, how would you feel about a Rosemary Bill pair up?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. That hasn't happened before. Like, I can probably count on one hand how many scenes up until season
Yeah.
11 Jack and I have had together." And I was like, "Oh, I think it could be fresh. Like, I think it could be really fresh and fun." And she goes, "Okay, because I'm not I'm not exaggerating when I say it's big. Like a big storyline is emerging." And I was like, "I think that could be really good." And then when we started playing it, it was such a natural pairing. Like it was such and I mean, good drama, good comedy comes when you pair kind of opposites or like opposing
Yeah.
energies together. So it was sort of like once we started playing it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, why didn't we do this before? Like, why didn't this happen?" It made so much sense. He's so kind of by the book and strict and stern, and Rosemary's like impulsive and reactive and emotional and excitable and devastated and angry. Like she's so all over the place. And it was so funny. I mean, I really think people know Jack Wagner as, kind of this romantic, dramatic actor. I think because of all of his work on soaps and Melrose Place. He is so funny. I think he's a really funny comedic actor. I think that's like in his core. And so I think the pairing with Rosemary really brought that out because it's always funny seeing the straight man kind of like befuddled and caught off guard. And Rosemary just constantly did that. And so I thought I loved it. I loved it in when we first did it in season 11, and I loved that it continued in season 12. I mean, the fans loved it. I think the writers were like, "Oh, okay, we're onto something here. Like this really works."
I 100,000% agree. We were like, we didn't know we needed this. Like we
Yeah,
had no idea.
yeah, yeah,
It's
exactly,
like
exactly.
because again, your characters are so like over here. It's like, oh, but the thing is, I liked the writers did was they kept you both who you are
Yes.
and brought you together. They didn't change you; it kept you together. And I think some of the funniest scenes were you guys with Kevin adding Kevin into the mix.
Yes.
And you guys were making fun of him, but you were trying to get to teach him how to, but it brought on, Rosemary's theatrical background, mixed with
Yes.
the cover. I thought it was so brilliant how they did that.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was great. It made sense to bring Kevin in, and that made just like an another point to the comedic kind of
Yes.
now triangle, right? Of like he brings a different energy and he's also like looking at the two of them like, what are you guys talking about? But now Rosemary and Bill kind of have a little bit of a shorthand going because they've been working together. So it all works. And I hope going into season 13 that we continue with that in some capacity. I don't know what that'll look like, but because I really do think that pairing and that like trio works really well.
Yeah, and I also like that for the character when he brought in Melissa Gilbert's character when she came on the show and all that stuff that he ultimately didn't stay away from you. Like he still included you later. Like he brought you back in. Like you can tell he
Yes,
cares about Rosemary now. Like he kind of
yes.
cares about her, what she thinks. And Rosemary also very smart.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, I always say, what is that saying? It's like underestimate Rosemary at your own peril. Like she will outthink, outsmart, outwork. Like she's such a hard worker, almost anybody. And so if you underestimate her, that is a very bad move on your part.
I agree. As we wrap this up, because I want to thank you for your time, of course. Who is now 11, 12, 13 seasons? Who is Rosemary to Pascal? Is she a twin, an alter ego, a sister, a cousin? Like what is she to you now? Who is she?
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's a good question. I've actually never been asked that. I don't know. I mean, I love her. I really love her so, so much. And it really does feel a bit effortless when the season starts up again, as opposed to like when you're starting a movie or something and you're kind of like, ooh, like how, oh, what am I doing with this character? And what do I do? When I get those scripts, those first scripts of any of the seasons, it's just like being reacquainted with this. I mean, I guess kind of like an alter ego. She's just so deeply in my, I don't know, being that like when I read it, I'm like, ah, there she is. And I just know how she's gonna like how I can hear it. I can hear the lines in her voice. I know how I don't want to say in like a premeditated way, like I know how I'm going to say the lines, but they just, her voice pops off the page. And I'm like, uh-huh, I know what this all looks like. And I'm inspired, I guess. That's the idea. I'm inspired. And so, yeah, more like, I guess, alter ego, but I really do deeply, deeply love that character so, so much.
And it's one thing. I say you've been with her for so long. I'm assuming I would say I'm assuming yes, she's part of your DNA now. She's part of your added on
Well,
DNA.
people make jokes that while we're filming, like as we get deeper and deeper into the season, like my husband notices this is like there's certain like Rosemaryisms that start like creeping into our like personal life. I mean, like just like all like was so enthusiastic or like excitable or reactive. I mean, that's in me. Like I am kind of like that, but a little bit exaggerated. And then it kind of like once the season ends, like kind of like dies down a little bit. But then the season gets going and about halfway through, it's just like right there. And Erin too will be like, sometimes I'll like her and I will be having lunch together on a work day and we'll be sitting there in the trailer and I'll say something and she'll just look at me like give me a little side eye. She'll be like, and I'm like, I know. She's like, that was Rosemary, just so you know. Like, that was Rosemary.
I love it. Oh my God. Thank you, Miss Pascal, for being on the show.
Thank
Thank
you so much for having me. I'm so glad we were able to connect again after like quite a number of years.
you. Oh, yes. Well, we went through, strikes and everything else.
I know, what a
Our
crazy time.
industry through it. Yeah, it's been through it and pandemics and all that kind of stuff, but we're back together again. So thank you. And folks, you can follow her at P Hutton on Instagram, of course. And When Calls Heart will be back for season 13. So you have nothing to worry about. And I know she's working on some other stuff, and just follow her and she'll let you know what she's working on and what's coming out. And I'm James Lott Jr., the When Calls Heart Aftershow here on JLJ Media, and we'll see you next time.